In the lesson just preceding this one, which we're about to study, we began a study of salvation by grace through faith. And that lesson is based upon Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. For by grace have you been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, that no man should glory. In the preceding lesson, we considered a number of introductory matters and then got into a part of the heart of the lesson. And we want to continue today with that. And in the last lesson, first part of this series, I used this chart to bring forth some of the most important questions that face any man. Number one is, are men saved by faith? Secondly, are men saved by dead faith? Thirdly, what can dead faith do? Now, we could add a fourth one, are men saved by a living faith? Now, let's go back and look at the answer which we gave, and it's anticipatory of some of the things that we'll have to say in this lesson. Are men saved by faith? Yes, they are. Romans 5:1 says, much more than being now justified by faith, shall we be saved from the wrath of God through him. Ephesians 2:8 and 9, for by grace have you been saved through faith. Actually, in the Greek Testament, that's the faith. For by grace have you been saved through faith, that is the gospel. For by grace have you been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. Notice that. It is quite crucial to our study here. The gift of God. It's what he gives us. It's unmerited. It is not earned in any sense of the word. And so we answer yes, are men saved by faith? But the question is, are they saved by a dead faith or by a living faith? Well, the Bible answers that you're saved by a living faith, not by a dead one. Are men saved by dead faith? No, the Bible plainly and explicitly declares that you are not. In James chapter 2, verse 24, it says, you see that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. Notice that carefully. That means there are acts of obedience which must follow faith in order for one to be baptized into Christ. And then in the 26th verse of that same chapter, one that we'll look at in quite some detail in just a moment, it says, for as the body apart from the spirit is dead, so then is faith without works dead. And since that which is dead is powerless, it's inoperative, it cannot accomplish anything, we all ought to be able to see that we are not saved by faith only. What can faith do? It can't do anything. Dead faith, I'm sorry. What can dead faith do? Nothing. It is powerless, inoperative, unable to accomplish anything at all. And so let's look a little further at the idea of dead faith. In James chapter 2, verse 26, for as the body apart from the spirit is dead, even so faith apart from works is dead. Now notice, the body minus the spirit is a dead body. When your spirit leaves your body, you are dead. If your heart stopped beating and your spirit left your body would be a dead body. Faith minus works is a dead faith. That is a faith which is not yet led to acts of obedience. Now, the gospel of Christ, the New Testament, contains many instructions. It authorizes us to do many things, and it forbids us to do many things. But in order for faith to be living, it must have works to complete it, to make it whole or entire. As the body apart from the spirit is a dead body, so then faith without works is dead faith. In Matthew 10:28, as we note here at the bottom of the page, the writer there tells us, do not fear him that is able to destroy the body, but cannot destroy the soul. But fear him that is able to destroy both body and soul in hell. Now that recognizes that the soul or the spirit dwells in the body, and that a person can kill your physical body. For instance, he could take a double-barrel shotgun and blow your head off. But in doing that, he would not affect your soul. He would not kill your soul. He wouldn't kill your spirit. But we are to fear God. We're not to fear people that can kill our bodies, because that does not really affect our soul. If a thug would walk up to you on the street and demand your money and then blow your head off, he would not affect your spirit at all, but he would your body. Now, let's look at the whole picture. I have this little diagram here so that you might be able to follow a little more closely what I'm getting at. Let's look at the whole picture. The body plus the spirit, course, this is not a mathematical equations in the Bible, but you can see the point. It's making clear that one thing is necessary and another thing is necessary for there to be a living or a live body. The body plus the spirit is a live body. But if the spirit leaves the body minus the spirit, that is, at the point of death, it is a dead body. Now we're talking here in terms of us human beings who have a body, an outer man, and an inner man, the soul or the spirit. So if your spirit leaves your body, you have a dead body. Now let's apply that religiously or theologically. Faith plus works is a live faith. Just as the body plus the spirit is a live body, so faith plus works is a live faith. In the same way, just as the body minus the spirit is a dead body, so it is that faith without works is dead. It is thus therefore clear that Jesus saves the obedient and only the obedient. In Hebrews chapter 5, verses 8 and 9, the Bible says of Jesus, "Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered. And being made perfect, he became unto all them that obey him the author of eternal salvation." That passage simply says, and perhaps the way we would say it today, just as it was true that Jesus, even though he was the Son of God, had to actually go through the acts of obedience which were demanded of him by God, just so it is that we today must do the same. He is the author of eternal salvation to those that obey him. There is no promise in the Bible of the Lord to save anybody from sin who does not obey his instructions. Now, a question, a very important question. How much chance does any of us have of being saved by dead faith? I used this point just a few moments in the preceding lesson, but I'm concerned now enough to reiterate it and go on into it perhaps in a little more detail. Let's imagine that you're out in a lake. Here we are, just as much. How much chance would he have? Just as much as would a man who's drowning in a lake to be saved by a dead man who's lying on the shore. That is exactly none. Now notice carefully what I'm saying here. I'm saying that the Bible teaches, and I want you to read your own Bible, to see it for yourself, not to take my word for it. I'm not an authority. Only God is authoritative in religion, and his Bible is the means by which he conveys his message to us.